I think the layoff had an effect. And masyadong matagal yung layoff between the last fight and this fight. The other thing is, we all have watched Manny Pacquiao through the years, and there's a certain part in the fight, let's say third or fourth round, he takes over the fight. He controls it, and you know you're going to win that day. There were several moments, may flurries of punches siya, pero sabi ko, hindi ata dulo ng knuckle ang tumatama, hindi solid. May flurry siya, hindi solid, hindi umaalog yung kalaban eh. So sabi ko, wow, late rounds na, hindi pa rin nagbabago yung trend ng laban. Parang hirap tamaan ni Manny, hindi niya maalog. So I felt by the 11th or 12th, kung hindi niya tamaan, he was in trouble. And he had, as he mentioned, cramps as well. So that may have had an effect as well.
And yes, that's true. With Attorney Ed naman, you know, in terms of strategy, what could have been done better against the taller and longer Ugas? You know, he was younger, Manny's 42 already, but what could have been done better in that fight, sir?
Well, maganda sana kung nandun yung legs ni Manny Pacquiao, ano?
Yes.
Kung hindi siya nag-suffer ng cramps. Kasi kailangan ni Manny Pacquiao yung movement niya sa ring eh. Doon nabibidazzle yung kanyang mga kalaban eh. And all of a sudden, he can stop on a dime and throw a punch. Alam natin yung hip power, how he generates the power from that. Hindi natin nakita eh. Medyo flat-footed siya dito sa labang ito. Eh, you're flat-footed, tapos kalaban mo, mahaba ang reach, counter-puncher. Tatamaan ka talaga. So I thought that Pacquiao would have moved a lot more. Of course, yung suntok nandun na yun eh, kasunod na yun eh. If he's moving well, alam natin susunod na yung mga flow ng combinations niya, ano? And despite yung issue tungkol sa pagiging flat-footed, yung mga suntok na sinalo niya, he actually fought well eh, kahit pa paano eh, no? Kasi that fight was close. Yung had he won the last 2 rounds of the fight, it would have been a majority draw. Tabla pa yung laban considering how handicapped Manny Pacquiao was, ano? Pero siyempre, acknowledge din natin yung naging estilo nitong si Yordenis Ugas. He stuck to his game plan. Maganda ang kanyang depensa, maganda ang kanyang counter-punching, the body attacks, ano? Maganda ang kanyang disiplina. Kaya kasabi ko, from Yordenis to You're the Man. Naging transition itong si Ugas. But we would have wanted more movement talaga from Manny. Nawala eh. Doon lahat nagsisimula for Manny Pacquiao eh.
Tama ka dyan, attorney. It looked a bit different. And Carlo, to bring up your point, sinabi mo kanina that Father Time is undefeated. And there was a nice quote during the fight. Are we going to see the old Manny Pacquiao or are we going to see the old Manny Pacquiao? If that makes any sense. And did you feel that this was the aged version of Manny, that without that movement, without that, I guess, that pop, that spring in the step that we're so used to seeing?
Oh, it clearly was, no? All of the Filipino boxing journalists were hopeful heading into this matchup because we can only judge it according to how we last saw Manny Pacquiao. And the last time we saw Manny Pacquiao was against Keith Thurman, and he was good then. Yung problema dito was that, again, the long layoff, the inability to train in a usual stance during the pandemic, it really hampered what he could do in the ring. You know, sabi nga ni Nonito, di ba, it's a very different, circumstance for him because even if he also had a similar long layoff, siya tuloy-tuloy yung training niya. He was able to work really hard. He was able to get into the gym, spar really in a long span, had 2 actually training camps before he was able to fight Nordin Ubali for the Bantamweight Championship. But for Pacquiao, it wasn't the same. When we headed into the matchup, I was asking, tinatanong ko kung enough na ba yung overhand right at saka yung jab nitong si Yordenis Ugas to beat Manny Pacquiao. And then yung movement niya, it's only front and back. Pwede na ba yun? Will it be enough against the movement, against the angles of Manny? And then the answer was yes, it would be enough because it was a hampered Manny Pacquiao. It was not the same Pac-Man that we're used to seeing, and to build to Attorney Ed's point. And that allowed Yordenis Ugas to really dictate the tempo of the matchup. And for the first time, nakita natin how a taller, longer opponent should fight against Pacquiao. He fought Margarito, he fought Cotto, he fought a lot of taller opponents, but none of them actually fought tall against him. Yordenis Ugas did.
And, balik tayo kay Sir Sev. You mentioned, Carlo, na, it wasn't the same Manny Pacquiao. Pero may ibang moments sa match na yun, Sir Sev, na we were able to see a glimpse of the vintage Manny Pacquiao. Did you see that also, Sir Sev?
Oo naman, yung paghahanap niya ng angulo, nandun pa rin. Yung years of working with Freddie Roach ay nandun pa rin. Yung biglang lilihis siyang ganun, bigla siyang iiwas. I think a bit of the quickness was still there. But the nice thing about Manny is that he has never offered excuses pag natatalo siya. And even in the course of the fight, we never realized that he would, even the announcer was, he was suffering cramps and his movement was, di ba, nung may weather, yung shoulder naman niya. But Manny never offers excuses. I saw vintage moments, but nung third and fourth round, nung hindi magbago yung takbo na laban, and Carlo Pamintuan just mentioned it, I call Margarito fight, and that was solid Manny Pacquiao. Ang tangkad. Ang advantage naman, Ed was point, yung Margarito, mayabang eh. Gusto niyang magpagpalitan ng mukha kay Manny Pacquiao eh. So, doon, tinamaan ni Manny. But during the later rounds, as Ed will and Carlo will remind us, tinamaan din si Manny Pacquiao kasi medyo napagod si Manny. We saw some glimpse of Manny Pacquiao of the past. But off in the third, fifth, that made Ed point the fight a little closer than what it is. Tama ka, Ed, I also felt